Thank you, Chairperson. Thank you, everyone, for being here. My topic is neglected shoulder dislocation. I would just take few minutes and let's first decide what is neglected. At what time point would you call an untreated dislocation as neglected? 1 week, 3 weeks, or 6 weeks? And this is important because at first we should be speaking the same language. And secondly, at what time point your closed reduction is not or has high chances of being unsuccessful. So first, can I have a show of hands? Who all think that an untreated, unreduced shoulder dislocation at 1 week should be called neglected? Who all will call it neglected? Okay, few of us. Now, how many of you would call at 3 weeks an untreated, unreduced dislocation as neglected? Sir, Garve sir. 3 weeks.
You already told me the answer, so that's why I'm not answering.
How many would call it at 6 weeks? Few would call it at 6 weeks. So we've gone through the literature and we've studied all the papers possible, published our paper, and 3 weeks is the standard what most papers agree on. Just arbitrary, but most papers agree. Because after 3 weeks, probably I will not try closed reduction. And this is a very landmark paper by Rowe and Zarines. Should study, everybody should read it. It's 1982, says 3 weeks. So 3 weeks is currently what I also follow, and we should be actually speaking the same language, so 3 weeks. Now somebody also mentioned that unreduced, neglected shoulder dislocation is rare now. I think that is a wrong notion. We still see it, and because of COVID, we've been seeing more. Just on the basis of neglected problems have increased since COVID. People have been hesitating and presenting with neglected dislocation. So we've seen a surge. I will be speaking on neglected and posterior and neglected posterior and anterior. I'll categorize at less than 2 months or more than 2 months because the prognosis is a bit different. Now, if you catch them after 3 weeks as neglected, but you catch them early, for example, for me, early would be less than 2 months, I would probably say try and reduce them by preserving the subscapularis and going through the rotator interval. This is possible. You should try it. I've been able to do it a couple of times already. And in this case, for example, we were able to do it even arthroscopically, and I've tried arthroscopically as well. So if you see, we are seeing from the lateral portal, and you would see on the left side is the glenoid, on the right side is the humeral head, which is dislocated anteriorly. Now, how to reduce it? The principles of open and arthroscopic are the same. So I would take a periosteal elevator, as I did in this case. I would insert through an anterior portal. The periosteal elevator would go medial to the humeral head, and I would push it or lever it back to the glenoid, in front of the glenoid, and so this is reduced. Now, this case, there was a cuff tear, we reduced the cuff tear as well. But the principles would be the same even if you do an open, you go through the rotator interval, lever it back. And this is possible in the early cases, even open. You could do it in the first 2 months, you could do it without removing the subscap. Now, if you have a very late presenting, untreated, unreduced shoulder dislocation, there are a couple of tips and tricks which I've learned over a period of time. So first is your coracoid osteotomy. You should utilize it whenever required, and I probably make an assessment in the pre-op X-ray. So if your LT shadow, as denoted by the yellow line, dotted line, is lying just below the coracoid, 2 lines drawn from the coracoid down, probably you could do it without coracoid osteotomy by just retracting the conjoint tendon a bit, few millimeters is all you are able to retract. But if in the second X-ray, if you see the LT shadow is far medial to the 2 lines drawn from the coracoid, you would not be able to access this. You would not be able to access the humeral head and subscap. So you do need a coracoid osteotomy in such a case. Now, these osteotomies after reduction should be fixed back. And I used to fix them with a screw. Now I've fixed them with an anchor now. However, the recommendation right now, as we published and as Chinyan Jiang published in his JBJ's paper, the latar J or transferring the coracoid to the glenoid is probably not recommended, probably best avoided because it complicates matters further and it has not stopped a redislocation. This is what is already there in the literature, and I don't do a latar J in these cases. Now the other thing what to do is, so we remove the upper 2/3 of the subscap, which is the tendinous portion, and repair it back after reduction. So when you remove the subscap along with the capsule, you see the humeral head, you reduce it back, and these people have good range of motion. The third technique is Sometimes even after reduction, there is instability. The humeral head goes out with slight rotations of the hand. So now what we do is we fix it with K-wires. If it is very unstable, you fix it with 2 K-wires going from the acromion to the humerus, and you remove them at 4 weeks. The last recommendation which we have published, in case of a cartilage damage after several years of neglect, or an irreparable cuff tear, or a person presenting after several years. Now, in those cases, reverse shoulder replacement should be your treatment of choice and not an anatomic, because anatomic has high instability rates. This is as per what we've published. Posterior neglected, on the contrary, is more clear. The results are not that variable. An open reduction and a McLaughlin procedure in which we transfer the LT to the humerus defect medially gives very good, satisfactory, excellent results. It's probably a treatment of choice in most cases when you have a posterior neglected. Now, in our retrospective analysis of our neglected dislocations, total 26 cases, we've had 2 resubluxations early on. We were still learning. There was one coracoid migration, so I changed my technique to anchor. There were no neurovascular complications, so you should follow the safety techniques as I told you, and you will have no neurovascular problems. And this is, we are waiting for this. This will be published later in the year, but I can give you a gist of whatever we've learned till now and published, that anterior neglected outcomes are variable, pain relief is good, and you should follow the techniques of osteotomy, subscap removal, repair, K-wires. Posterior neglected, usually McLaughlin gives very good results, and possibly most people follow that. And in case of irreparable cuff tears or several years of a neglect with a cartilage loss, reverse shoulder should be your treatment of choice. Thank you. Questions?